Teacher, information is everywhere now. Videos, podcasts, AI, books, reels, but my mind feels overloaded. I consume so much, yet remember very little. How can I practice self-learning in this age of information overload?
Because you are collecting information, not building understanding.
What's the difference? And what's the solution?
Information is like rain falling everywhere. Understanding is collecting clean water in a vessel. Simply collecting information does not make a person wise. Sometimes it only creates an intelligent parrot, someone who repeats words without truly understanding them. Real understanding means identifying the intention, recognizing patterns, connecting the dots, and extracting the core message while removing the unnecessary diversions and confusion around it.
Like downloading 500 gigabytes of study material and then studying only the file names?
Information without reflection is like pouring water into a leaking filter. Most meaningful knowledge quietly escapes, while useless rubbish often gets stuck inside the mind.
Like remembering celebrity gossip before exams, but forgetting the actual answer in the examination hall?
The mind easily stores emotional noise, repetition, fear, and excitement. But understanding requires attention, reflection, and reasoning. That is why the Nyaya philosophers encouraged students not to blindly accept every claim. They were taught to ask, what is the evidence? How do I know this? Could my assumptions be wrong? Whenever you learn something important, pause and ask yourself, do I really understand this? Can I explain it to a 10-year-old? Could this also be wrong? Real learning begins when you question, simplify, test, and reflect, not when you merely memorize. AI will soon provide information instantly to everyone. The truly valuable people will be those who can think clearly, verify deeply, and understand wisely.
Many people think they are gaining knowledge, but actually they are just binge consuming emotional content.
In Nyaya philosophy, knowledge was never considered complete merely because someone sounded confident or because a crowd believed something to be true. True knowledge had to pass through reasoning, evidence, observation, questioning, practical experience, and even falsification. Students were encouraged to constantly ask, what if this is wrong? Am I accepting this because it is true, or because it supports my fears, beliefs, emotions, or comfort? Only after deep reflection and testing was knowledge considered trustworthy. That is why the future will belong to curious minds, thinkers, explorers, innovators, creators, and problem solvers, not passive consumers endlessly scrolling, reacting emotionally, and repeating opinions without genuine understanding.
Now I understand why emotional intelligence and critical thinking are becoming so important. Without awareness, people can easily get manipulated by information, emotions, and even algorithms.
The real advantage in the future will come from skills that AI cannot easily replace: clear thinking, deep observation, creativity, adaptability, ethical reasoning, and the ability to connect ideas across different fields. It will also come from collaboration, practical real-world skills, emotional intelligence, physical health, and the ability to build meaningful things with the right people.
Emotional intelligence means controlling emotions, right?
Emotional intelligence does not mean suppressing emotions. It means understanding emotions without becoming their slave. What you suppress eventually oppresses you. If emotions are constantly ignored, they quietly begin controlling your thoughts, reactions, and behavior from underneath. Remember this mantra: feel to heal. Feel the emotion, but do not react impulsively to it. Simply allow it to exist, observe it carefully, and slowly it will begin to dissolve on its own.
Strange, teacher. The more people say, I am fully in control, the more they seem controlled by anger, validation, likes, comments, and notifications. Modern humans proudly carry invisible chains in their pockets.
Anything you try to control can eventually start controlling you. Recall our metacognition class. You simply need to step back and observe your thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment, with acceptance of what is, and with the wisdom that this too shall pass. In a world filled with uncertainty, misinformation, rapid change, competition, and constant digital distraction, the real superpower will be the ability to remain calm, think clearly, and respond mindfully instead of reacting impulsively. Most people panic, scream, blame, argue, or emotionally explode in difficult situations. But those who remain balanced under pressure, think rationally, regulate emotions, and act wisely will become extremely valuable. A sharp mind becomes far more powerful when supported by emotional stability, self-awareness, inner clarity, and a healthy body.
Many people think they are thinking intelligently, but actually they are just being emotionally dragged from one reaction to another by headlines, reels, comments, and forwarded messages.
Social media algorithms, advertisements, influencers, news channels, and political campaigns are all competing for one thing: your attention. And the easiest way to capture attention is not through logic, but through emotion. Fear spreads faster than facts. Outrage spreads faster than understanding. Sensationalism travels faster than balanced thinking because emotionally charged people react more, argue more, share more, and consume more.
So basically, the business model is simple: emotionally disturb people first, then sell them products, ideology, entertainment, or peace of mind as a solution.
That is why media platforms constantly amplify fear, anger, greed, insecurity, tribalism, and false hope. Modern digital systems are increasingly designed less to inform people and more to emotionally stimulate them. More emotional reactions mean more views, higher TRPs, more advertising revenue, and ultimately more consumerism. The system constantly makes people feel insecure about the future, so they keep buying more in search of a false sense of safety, status, and security.
What many people call gaining knowledge today is often just emotional entertainment disguised as intelligence.
Real wisdom begins when you recognize emotional manipulation. Fear and hope are often two sides of the same coin: something terrible is coming, or something magical will save everything. Both can quietly control the mind if you remain unaware. Emotional intelligence helps you observe emotions without becoming trapped by them. Slowly, you stop getting dragged into every outrage campaign, controversy, trend, or emotional narrative. Instead of reacting impulsively, you begin responding consciously. And remember this carefully, Ananya, your attention is your greatest capital. The future will depend on who uses it first: you, for learning, growth, and creation, or algorithms, for distraction and endless consumption. Always remember these words. Creation has created you to be a creator, to express your uniqueness, not to become a conforming consumer.
How do I observe and overcome this emotional impulse to react? And what will make humans truly valuable in the future?
Whenever you feel the urge to instantly react, speak, or forward something sensational, pause for a moment. The feeling of urgency itself is often the signal to slow down and reflect. Ask yourself one simple question: is this really necessary? That small pause can transform unconscious reaction into conscious response. Reactions thrive on impulsiveness, while awareness weakens them. And what will make humans valuable in the future? Remaining deeply human in a world filled with manipulation, greed, artificial stimulation, and emotional noise. The future will belong to people with clear thinking, adaptability, ethical reasoning, creativity, emotional intelligence, and the ability to collaborate meaningfully with others.
Honestly, it feels awful realizing that many of my reactions were probably being driven by emotionally stimulating algorithms. I thought I was thinking independently, but half the time I was just reacting on command.
Awareness is the first step toward freedom, Ananya. The moment you begin consciously observing your reactions, manipulation slowly starts losing its grip on you. And remember this carefully: the moment you become aware that you are not aware, awareness has already begun.
Thank you for explaining the importance of emotional intelligence in this current tsunami of rapid change. But teacher, why is self-learning becoming so important?
We've reached the end of today's class, and the art of self-learning is far too deep to cover in a single session. In our next class, we will explore why to self-learn, what to self-learn, and how to learn, unlearn, and relearn in a rapidly changing world. Remember, the future belongs to those who can adapt faster than change itself. Alright class, we'll stop here for today. See you in the next class. Bye, everyone.